Hello YouTube, my name is Paul. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to another pickup video. In fact, the first video I've done for about 3 weeks. I've had some time away. Time sort of locked away playing games, away from the fans. Actually trying to catch up on some fan mail as well. Got flipping sacks of it. But yeah, so as we head towards 700 subscribers, like I say, massive thank you for those who have recently joined and for those who have stuck with me through thick and thin. So yeah, brilliant. I've been playing some modern games. Well, a particular modern game, and that's Days Gone, where I've finally got myself a platinum trophy. I've never had a platinum trophy ever before, so I was chuffed to bits with that. It's a pretty good game if you've never played it. It's not brilliant. There are lots of sort of flaws within the game, but it's great fun. It just made me think, really, what kind of achievements could you get from a game like Renegade on the Spectrum? You know what I mean? 20 times you chuck someone over your shoulder, or 20 times you need someone in the bollocks. 20 times Big Bertha squeezes you, or 20 times those lesbians whip the shit out of you on level 3. You can't really get many achievements on Renegade, could you really? But it's amazing what kind of crap they make up to give you a flipping trophy. Pretty cool, really. So yeah, pickups anyway. Quite a few pickups now, even though I keep saying I'm slowing down. I'm never going to say that again because it's not true. I just keep buying stuff. Spectrum's still getting some treatment, even though that's slowed down quite dramatically as the focus has shifted back to the Amiga and ST. So I've got quite a few Amiga and ST games to show you in the coming sort of weeks and months, really, along with the PlayStation and some miscellaneous stuff. So what I'll probably do after this video is do a miscellaneous video and catch up with some of the bits I've been picking up for various different systems. Got an FM Towns game, which is highly unusual these days. A few games I've picked back up again because I sold them off sort of back end of last year to raise a bit of money to buy different things. Namely the Ocean Software collection on the ZX Spectrum. Also started doing another full set now. Again, like everything I always say I'm not going to do it, but I do it. But I fucking do it, but I do it. So yeah, a full set of a particular, not necessarily a publisher, but a particular label. So that will be revealed, although it's probably not very much a secret. But it's probably kind of been inspired by the likes of the Bearded Man-Child, who's done something very similar on his Amstrad. David Retro Games Play Badly. Even Sega Zombies caught up in the act. So yeah, that'll all be revealed in time, and it's another sort of video I can do, really. As I kind of battle my way through the 130 odd games that are in that particular set. So yeah, I'm going to go through some Spectrum games anyway. It's a combination of budget games, old cartoons that I forgot about. I used to watch kind of when I got them from school. Big box game for the Spectrum. A game that I picked up for a decent price for what it is. Yeah, so let's crack on anyway. So yeah, so I achieved my full set Imagine collection some time ago now on the Sinclair Spectrum. But it's quite a few pre-Ocean games as well, aren't there? Games like, I don't know, Jumping Jacks, Stonkers, Arcadia. I mean, a few of them are just in the cabinet here. The next one I got then is Pedro, which I remember seeing this, or that artwork in particular, years ago, back in sort of the mid-80s, before I even had a Spectrum. But I never played it, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I tell you what, for a game that's quite simplistic, the instructions on it, in flipping half go on a little bit. So I didn't read the instructions, I thought I'd just give it a bash. But I do need to read them because I didn't have a flipping clue what I was doing. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be collecting seeds or killing the baddies that are trying to eat the seed. I don't bloody know. But I played it for a little bit. Didn't make head nor tail of it, to be honest. Nice cheap game because I was also after all the pre-Ocean Imagine titles. So I've got all them as well in the collection now, which is cool. That's Pedro. Again, cheap as chips. Another one from Imagine in the sort of pre-Ocean days is Zip Zap. Which I thought was some kind of a Space Invader clone, but it's not. It took a little while to get used to this game. It's got a very strange kind of control mechanism. Whereas the character don't stop moving. All you do is guide it into sort of which direction it goes, really. And it's quite frantic. And again, I'm not really 100% sure what I'm supposed to do. She keeps shooting the enemy, but they keep coming back. It's like these little square things on the screen. Not sure if you're supposed to pick them up or what. But again, a lot of these games only gave about 2 or 3 minutes of game play just so I can get the footage to put in this video. So again, that's Zip Zap, and a lot of these games are picked up in bulk from online stores because it just saves on postage. Because these cheap games, they're great if you don't pay the postage, or combine the postage, I should say. Now, next up is a game I have fond memories of on my friend's Commodore 16, my mate Sam. Now, Sam I knew back from primary school. Didn't really speak a lot until we found out we both love video games. So I went round his place and he had a Commodore 16. I know his Commodore 16 had various Mastertronic games like Tutti Frutti, which I think was a exclusive for the Commodore 16. But he also had this, which is Rockman. Now I vaguely remember it, and I'm pretty sure the Commodore 16 version is probably better than the Spectrum version. It's got horrible bloody music. Speaking of music, when I was talking about Zip Zap, it's got a Star Wars theme at the bloody beginning. Cheeky sods. But yeah, this game here, you go around smashing rocks to access the mushrooms, pick the mushrooms up. Once you clear the mushrooms off the screen, job done. Just obviously avoiding the baddies, because some of the enemies don't really move, but if you touch them, you die. It's a pretty basic game, I've got to be honest with you, but the artwork is just nostalgic. It just reminds me of my mate Sam. Again, didn't really like the game much on the Commodore 16, to be completely honest with you. But I do like the original Mastertronic artwork. I do like it, and I would like to get every Mastertronic game, especially that original kind of Virgin, actually pre-Virgin grid patterns. There's quite a few like that. Next up is a cartoon I remember, along with Banana Man. Banana Man was quite good actually, if I remember rightly. This one is Super Ted. His mate Spot. I'm sure it's called Spot. Yeah, this game itself, again, all you do is fly through the air, avoiding missiles and avoiding baddies. Every now and then you go down and punch something. It's quite a boring game, I've got to be completely honest with you. It looks alright though, graphically. Got the old Super Ted theme tune to greet you as you play the game. Apart from that, it's a very, very simple game. Reminds me a little bit of like one of the levels out of Agent X. I think the last level when you're in the helicopter trying to avoid the missiles. So a very basic game by Alternative Software, and I think that's not the only Super Ted game that was released. Now next up is a game I didn't realise was part of a series of games I used to love as a kid, and that was the Magic Knight series. I remember playing Finders Keepers on Sam's Commodore 16, again bloody hard, and I remember completing Spellbound and Nighttime on the Spectrum, both cracking little games. Those sorts of games you pick up objects to try and make other objects work. I used to call them arcade adventures back in the day. This is the fourth in the series, which I was quite surprised existed. That's Stormbringer. Got another game I got as part of a bundle, so this one cost me next to nothing. By the legendary David Jones. It's got a really good soundtrack in it, which I'm going to put into this video in the background by David Whittaker. His sound's always quite distinct. But it's one of those games you literally go along, very similar to what I described really, go along picking up objects to get other objects to work. If you ever played Batman: The Caped Crusader, kind of like that really. But yeah, very good game. Got decent graphics. I think all the sprites are a bit bigger than the previous Magic Knight trilogy games. Certainly recommend it if you like that series. Now next up is a game by Houston Consultants, or Houston Software, what they were called back then. This one is called Quasitron, done by Graft Gold. Can't remember the fella's name, might come to me later on, but his company did develop some fantastic games for certain publishers. One of them that springs to mind was Rainbow Islands on the Commodore Amiga and ST. But they've done games like Paradroid 90. I'm sure they did Uridium 2. They've done loads. Steve Turner, I want to think that his name is. But that's Quasitron. This game can fluctuate between a couple of quid and a tenner. I brought this as part of a bundle. Again, quite a complicated game to control because it's all isometric, and you have to kind of point your joystick in an odd direction to move, which you probably see in the gameplay footage. I couldn't get the hang of it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what to do, but it's very well presented for a game that came out probably, what, 84, 85, 86 even, get that right. But it's very well presented, got some great graphics in it, to be honest, I've got to say. Right, next up is one of two Monty games I've picked up for the Spectrum. This one is Wanted Monty Mole, platformer. Got a bit of a wartime theme to it, a couple of tunes in there are familiar from, I don't know, films like The Great Escape or, well, World War II films really. It's like when you die you got, I can't remember the bloody hymn now, Abide With Me, Abide By Me or something. It plays on for ages, bloody ages when you die. But yeah, it looks really good for a game again that came out probably in the mid-80s. Quite complicated, I've got to say. I didn't make it very far in the game. There wasn't much to pick up. I wasn't quite sure what to really do, to be honest with you. A bit like a Manic Miner sort of clone. But yeah, all the Monty Mole series, they've all got kind of a different story behind them. I think that one you're trying to do something with mines, coal mines. I'm not really sure, to be honest. There's quite a few Monty games on the Spectrum. And the other 8-bit home computers. But yeah, a decent game, but flipping hard, got to say. Again, that was part of a bundle as well, so it probably didn't cost me cost me nothing. Right, next up are some jewel cases, some rather large jewel cases. First up being a classic football management game. Now, I do like my football management games. I played a hell of a lot of them on the Spectrum. This one is Foot Manager 2. It's a cracking football management game. If you like the first one, it's miles better than that. Got a much better presentation. Game I spent a lot of time on. One of the first games I remember you had to pick your own sponsorships and that sort of stuff. I just realised it's missing the instructions. Again, not an overly expensive game. This game came out probably about 6-7 years after the original. So it took Kevin Toms a while to make this one. Yeah, cracking game. Highly recommend it if you like football management games. Next up is a classic arcade game. Transferred onto the Humble ZX Spectrum. A game I remember playing years ago. I never had it. I probably played it on a copied tape. And that's Kung Fu Master. Not the best conversion on the Spectrum. It's got hideous music. I find it really hard. I've never completed it. I can't get very far because of good old sprite detection. Yeah, it's in nice condition. Again, this one I think was part of a bundle. This one actually comes with its own separate instructions. But again, the arcade game is pretty legendary. I'm not so on the Spectrum. I bet the Commodore 64 version is very good. Never played it on the Amstrad, so I couldn't really compare it, to be honest. But yeah, nice addition to the collection, even though it's not a particularly great game. Next up is another arcade conversion, one of the first games of its type I ever played. Bear in mind, one of my favourite games is Flying Shark. This is sort of an early sort of game of that sort of style, really. 1942. I'm sure 1943 came out. I'm not sure there's anything after that. I don't know. Graphics on the Spectrum are not those. Nope, not those at all. So I think the Spectrum graphics are predominantly yellow. A decent conversion, but again I found it very, very difficult to play. It comes with this instruction booklet. But yeah, I remember having this back in the day, but again I don't know if I had it on a copy or I had the original. Hence why it's back in the collection, really. But yeah, a game that's okay, but nowhere near as good as Flying Shark on the Specky. Right, next up we got probably the first of a couple of cartoon graphics they've got. They're really nice graphics. Games themselves aren't great, but the graphics look really good. That's the Flintstones. Played this game for the first time. Well, first time that I've actually kind of understood what to do, anyway. And the first level sees you trying to paint, which is not easy when you've got a young nipper walking around the house. You've got to pick up, is it pebbles? I can't remember what the kid's called. Pebbles? Yeah, you pick her up and stick her in the old cot. Use some random animal that's running around the house as a paintbrush. Yeah, so you've literally got to paint the wall, and it's quite boring, I've got to say. But I always remember this in the this game in the magazines. It always looked really good. I did want to get it, but yeah, there's quite a lot of different sub games to it. But I've only ever seen the paint level. But I know you can go bowling. I know there's different levels in the game, but yeah, I don't think it's a particularly great game to play. I'm not sure I've got this on the ST or not. Or did it come out on the ST? I don't actually know. I think I'm talking out my arse again. Right, next up is another Monty game. This one has got a fantastic soundtrack by Ben Dalglish. I absolutely love the music for this game. And that's Auf Wiedersehen, Monty. Cracking game. Very, very similar to Wanted Monty Mole. Here's a platformer. You climb up and down. Look like ropes, to be honest. I'm not really quite sure what you do. Or what you're supposed to collect or what you're supposed to end up doing. But again, it's got another instruction pamphlet. And I got this one because I wanted the badge. So very much like Jack the Nipper, and very much like the game I'm going to show you next. I do like to try and get the games complete, to be honest. But yeah, Monty Mole, or Wiedersehen Monty's a good game, but again, trying to play these old games now, if you've never played them before, is quite a chore. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, obviously the games we played as youngsters, we pick up and play now, and we still enjoy them just the same. But playing these old games that we've never played before, sort of start off and you think, I've had enough of that already. Right, next three. One of them I've already picked up in the past, but this is a complete version. I actually spent a bit of time playing this game, and it's called The Muncher, starring Ron Jeremy. Graphics were fantastic, I've got to say, for its time. Massive sprite. It's got to be the largest sprite ever seen on a Sinclair Spectrum. This was a 128K specific game, but it wasn't. It is a 128 specific game. But again, comes complete with its instruction pamphlet and badge. So that was what was missing from my previous copy. So yeah, this one can go for a little bit more. Whereas all the games I've shown you so far, basically dirt cheap, a couple of quid at most. This one can go for about 10 to 15 quid complete. I nearly bought it recently on the CPC on disc, but I kind of just didn't go for it. So I said, the CPC disc collection is mostly Ocean and Imagine. But I get a lot of my games obviously on a Sinclair Spectrum, because that's the 8-bit system I had back in the day. And the next game we got is Snoopy, the cool computer game. Again, very similar looking to Garfield, big fat hairy deal. Graphics certainly aren't the Spectrum version on the back, because the Spectrum version is monochrome. I'm not sure if that looks like the Amiga or ST on the back of that. But again, it's one of those games you pick up objects to make other things work, or an arcade adventure. But it seemed quite bland. There's loads of objects. You can probably see me picking them up in the demo footage. But in reality, I ain't got no flipping idea what I'm supposed to do with them. I was trying to throw the football and at the characters and trying to use the catapult at the characters, but nothing happened. So yeah, again, probably need to read the instructions of this one and give it a go. But yeah, I was quite disappointed by the way it looked. This is quite a desirable title. This particular one set me back about 40 quid. And I found one at Revival for 15, so I picked that up and try and offset the payment for that. But the one at Revival didn't work, so I sold it as, I listed it as the parts not working. It went for 35 quid. So I kind of got the money back really. So this has probably set me back, I don't know, probably in the end about 25 quid by the time I take the other Snoopy off of it. But yeah, cool to have in the collection. I'm glad I got it, and I like games by The Edge. There's quite a few games that got released by them, especially later on, that are quite desirable. I mean, Darius Plus got released on the Spectrum. That's another quite desirable game, which I had years ago in my previous collection. But yeah, but the last game I'm going to show you is probably one of my favourite games on the Sinclair Spectrum. It's really well regarded on the Commodore 64. And I remember buying it from the shop. But at the time, being a ninja wasn't a legal thing. You could not be a ninja. You couldn't go around the streets throwing stuff at each other. Just wasn't acceptable. So what they've done, especially with this game, The Last Ninja 2, they took the contents out of the box. That's the shops, that is. Because, yeah, it was frowned upon to be a ninja in the UK. Shame, really. So, yeah, the game got released on a Specky, but obviously the limited edition contents were withdrawn from the packs. And then subsequent games that were, I suppose, distributed didn't have the limited edition sticker on the side at all. So I was quite happy to see this on Sinclair Spectrum, because it's very rare you see a Spectrum version complete. Come up for £30 by it now, so as soon as I saw it, I pushed the bloody button, away I went. And in the box, you get a shooting star, shuriken, not a shooting star, you twat. One of these shuriken things, which are made of rubber, so I can't see what damage they might have done. They might have taken someone's eye out maybe, but it's quite a lethal looking thing. And obviously, something that every kid wants, to look like a ninja. Eh? You look like flipping, I don't want to say. No, I ain't going to say it. Yeah. Woohoo! So yeah, 30 quid for this, and this can quite regularly go on the Commodore 64 complete for well over 100 quid. And I remember being outbid not that long ago for a Commodore 64 version, which went for £180 or something stupid. So yeah, I sold my copy on, because obviously my copy was incomplete. We get the booklet in there. It's a cracking game, really good graphics, even on the Sinclair Spectrum, and it plays really well. It's a really good, again, arcade adventure, which a lot of these games are. So really chuffed to have this back in the collection. But yeah, it's nice to have the whole contents of the pack, which is very, very unusual, especially on the Sinclair Spectrum. I've seen them on the 64. I've never seen a complete set on the Amstrad before. And I'm not sure if the complete sets ever got released as well on the 16 bits. I know the game did, so I've got it on the Amiga somewhere, but yeah, really, really pleased to have this in the collection. Been dying to put it away on the shelf. It's been sat on the floor for ages waiting for a pickup video. But yeah, what a cracking game this is. So yeah, that's the highlight of this particular pickup video. It's another 15 games added to the Sinclair Spectrum, which is probably pushing towards about 400 games now. I'm only 3 items away from a complete Ocean set, one of them being a really difficult to get game, the other 2 just being applications. and literally my list of Spectrum games is minimal. I've got another one quite recently off the list. I'm missing Theatre Europe, which was one of those games I got from the computer club. The Free Ocean games, or Free Ocean items. I think there's one more game. That's it on my list. So before I kind of embark on anything else, I want to get those 3 or 4 games nailed off. Obviously now my new collection target, which is also Spectrum related. But beyond that, I'd like to get the Ultimate Play the Game titles, especially the big box ones. I've got most of the small box ones, but again, that can wait because they're not rare. They come up all the time. Even games like the Bubbler, or Bubbler it's called, isn't it? It comes up quite often. That's it. I mean, the next video I'll do, like I said, I'll do a miscellaneous one just to break up the... It's not a monotony for me, because I love the Spectrum, but some of you guys probably think, what the hell is he doing, buying Spectrum games? But yeah. So yeah, I want to tie up a few videos as well. I've obviously got the competition results to get out, which was probably the most successful in terms of views and in terms of participation I've ever done. So I'll get the results for that, but it'll probably be my last competition video I'll do for the foreseeable future. I need to finish off my Amiga Power Top 100 series, because the last series I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of miss a couple of magazines and go right to the very last one, which the plan for me with that one is to buy every game in the top 100, which is no tall order, I've got to say. I've got quite a few of them anyway, because a lot of games I loved back in the day are probably some of the best games ever made on the Amiga. But what I want to do with that one differently is to show you the games, go through the gameplay, probably expand on the videos that I've been putting out quite considerably, because the ones I've been doing are mostly just around gameplay. I've got to finish off my PlayStation 3 Collector's Edition video. I'll do my PlayStation 4 collection video before I go back full circle, right to the beginning, and go from the Atari, which I completely missed out the first time around, but I've been putting up a lot of pictures on Instagram, something that's quite new for me, so I'm going to try and put every game up on there eventually. So that's going to take me many years to do that, but I thought, why not, give it a go. What else have I been doing? Spotlight videos will probably slow right down. They're not the most popular videos, and they're quite time consuming to do. We'll see how we go. I mean, I do enjoy doing them, it's just unfortunately, yeah, they take quite a bit of time. I'm just trying to think what else. The PS3 collection editions, PlayStation 4 collection, Amiga Power videos, competition results. Start my new series for my new venture. That's about it, unless I can think of anything else. If you guys got any ideas for me to make videos, bear in mind I'm limited for time, so I work full time. Got other commitments outside of kind of work and collecting. I'd like to hear them, because there might be things out there that I could be doing that I haven't thought of, to be honest. But don't forget, it is a video. It is a channel which is dedicated to my collecting as opposed to anything else. It is a pretty much, yeah, just follow me while I collect for the collection, really. That's it. There's not much else to kind of talk about, to be honest. So that's it for this video. I'll be back again. I won't leave it as long as last time. I will be back shortly with probably an Amiga Power Top 100 video, so I need to crack on with that. But I'll do a pickup video in a couple of weeks time, maybe a bit longer, but I will do a miscellaneous one for definite, and I've said that 3 times already, so I'm going to leave it there. So thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you guys again real soon. So take care, and bye for now.